I have positive energy all the time. What up, though? Late night. I'm like, I ain't feel like getting dressed. I just came in and went live. Let's get it. Rep your city. Rep your city. You already know. I should do a marathon all night. I should do a few lives tonight. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got Richmond in the building. We got Merced in the building. What up, everybody on Facebook? I'm representing Chicago. What up, everybody on Twitch? I'm representing the Rack. What up, everybody on Kick? I'm representing the Windy City. What up, everybody on YouTube? I am representing Chi-Town. We got the great city of New York, repping big time. We got Houston in the building. Telephone records, Mr. Telephone Man. There's something wrong with my life. When I call my baby number, I get click every time. What up, Sacramento's in the building? Who else in the building? We got New Orleans in the building. We got Steezy in the building. Looking cute. She represents Jersey. What else we got? We got Atlanta, Georgia. Salute to my man Will the Most High is in the building. You already know what it is. We got, what else? Who else? We got Sacramento in the building. We got Cleveland, Ohio in the building. Rep your city. I'm going to take some of this. I'm going to take some of this Shilajit. You say I got them guns short. No, they not there yet. I ain't there yet. I'm getting there. Take a little bit of this Shilajit. What y'all know about Shilajit? Taking a little bit of this Shilajit. Say boom. Y'all ain't there yet. You know what I mean? I ain't there yet. I'm getting there, but I ain't there yet. But I ain't had time to get dressed. I ain't had time to get dressed. Because I just left and I had to hurry to get back. I ain't had time to get dressed. The gray is gray. Yeah, I've been gray. I've been gray now for a minute. Cause it's what it's gonna be December, January, February. I'll be 68. Yeah, I'll be 68. I will be 68. I'm not like a lot of people. I like getting old. Yeah, I like getting old. I like whatever come with it. Whatever come with it, bring it on. I like I like I like getting older. You know, Steve. Got grandbabies, and I got 6 children. I got a bunch of grandbabies. So I got a granddaughter finna. So she can maybe be graduating out of high school in a couple years. Boom, next thing you know, I'll be a great granddaddy. You know what I mean? I like it. I'll let some people get in here. We're gonna talk about this Black Americans, foundation of Black Americans. But yeah, I love it. I like it. It's popping. Oh, you be 80 in September. Congratulations, Echo. Yeah, I like it. You know, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's nice. I'm real busy now, so my social life ain't really popping. But the social life can be popping for sure. The social life could be popping more than ever. With the ladies, okay, you got ladies that's been single since they late 30s, they 40, 48, 50. They need a man bad. So, you know, then let me see, I'm 67, so they good all the way 50 and up, or really 47 and up. It's popping. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm just saying, it's a beautiful thing. And then especially now, because a lot of these sisters, they keeping it popping into their 80s and 90s. They fine as hell. On my soul, I just don't have time to go to the spots. The guys try to get me to go out to the spots. I just can't right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a distraction. You know, I can't deal with the distraction right now. I got too much shit going on. But yeah, I like getting older though. You got two choices. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. He said, "Sir, I gifted your vegan intel books to two ladies for Mother's Day. They are changing their lifestyle slowly. Yeah, those manuals is popping, Smith. That's a beautiful thing what you did. You did some life changing work right there to help them out. You know, I'll be watching this brother. Let me see if this gonna. I hope this don't mess up my Rocky Ingram. Y'all be watching Rocky Ingram. Rocky be working out, right? He's 60. And I just seen Rocky lay out a whole spread on the table. He said he changed the way he eat. He had some whole grain bread. He had all kind of fruit. He had that malt milk, MALK milk. And I said, check him out. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, he said, you never too old to learn. So he like changed around. Only thing he had like some salmon. He had some little fish and stuff, but most of the spread was plant based. It was impressive. I was proud of the brother. I watch him because, you know, he be working out. He's strong as ox. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just ran around right quick. I was on the phone and the guy's like, oh, we right there, we right here. And I had to end my phone call right quick, run around with them. We got Dallas in the building. Yeah, rep your city, rep your city. Out there with some of the YNs, trying to talk to them. keep them out of jail. Hotheads, you know. Keep telling them, man, don't change it around, you know what I mean? We got Orlando, Florida in the building. We got Dallas in the building. We got Orlando, Florida in the building. We got Washington, D.C. in the building. Let me look at that picture again. Uh-oh. Sharon, hey. We got Greensboro in the building. We got Greenville in the building. What up, Dex? My man Space Time in the building. Space Time, I'm going to hit you up for a track when I go in here and knock this album out. We got Hosky, North Carolina in the building. My man Asiatic Supreme. I'm going to hit you up, Space Time, when I go in there. I think I'm going in here pretty soon and maybe do my first song. I can't wait to get that off the ground. I gotta see what it sound like. We got Oakland in the building. It's hard. I gotta be the executive producer, the producer, and the rapper. I gotta be like 3 different people. That's gonna be a little challenging. I think I can pull it off though, but I gotta listen to myself like it's not me. It's gonna be interesting though. If I could get the first song, get the first couple songs and they sound, I don't want to do no old stuff. I don't want to do no 1980 hip hop. I don't want to do that. I ain't doing that, man. I want to do today relevant music. I don't want to do no old stuff. I don't want no old beats. I don't want no old flow. None of that. So yeah, we're getting it going. We're gonna talk about foundational Black Americans. I'm really tripping on. I'm not understanding why people having such a hard time with foundational Black Americans. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Y'all come on in, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and support the channel. I don't know why people are having a hard time with foundational Black Americans. I don't know what that's about. It's crazy. It definitely revealed that the level of comprehension is at an all-time low. You know, you got to be crazy when some people trying to delineate, which means, define specifically who you are. You know, you got to be crazy when all the other Black people are defined who they are and to make a big deal when Black people in America define who they are. That's the craziest thing about it. You got people talking about delineating. They don't even know what delineating means. because they keep talking like we delineating from everybody else, but everybody else is already you don't delineate from nobody. That's the first thing. All you do is just define your group, and everybody's got a group already. So it's a bunch of delineated blacks, like Africans and Caribbeans. They're delineated already. So how are you delineated? And you mad because we want to be delineated like you delineated? What? They got to do a better job at these schools because we got some of the most uneducated, unintelligent people ever. What is the comprehension skills about this? Like what? I don't think people know what delineate mean. And like you call the division, it's like okay, so being a Nigerian in Jamaica is that causing division? What? What? It's like a professor that's always teaching at all the Ivy League schools all around the world and all around the world calling somebody a CIA agent when he's a little CIA. I don't know if I'm going to talk about that one day, but I've been doing a little research on that. And it's like, you the one got all the CIA jobs. If you ain't the police, who is? It's not that they don't want us to define ourselves. They don't know what it means, yeah. They don't know what it means. Because guess what? We already defined ourselves. We just changing the name. Nobody had a problem with black Americans, right? Okay. All this is black Americans with foundational in the front. It's just that simple. Instead of black Americans, it's foundational black Americans. Duh. I gotta be the one to break that down? You've been calling us black Americans. All we did is put foundational in front of it. And everybody's acting like it's a whole new word. They put foundational in front of it. What? Has anybody ever broke that down before? Do people realize that? Or they just blurting out foundational black Americans and not listening to the black American part? Because it's like black Americans that we already been identified as. And so we put foundational in the front. That's a problem. So if we take black American and we put foundational in front of it, that's a 911, huh? Is it me or is the world slow? I said, these people crazy. Something wrong with these people. Plus, at one point, you don't mind your business. I'm not real good at stuff like that. Tyreek is much better. I'm kind of a little rough around the edges. So I'm the type of person, why are you trying to call yourself Foundation Black Man? Why are you talking to me? Shut up talking to me. You know? So I'm not good. I'm not good. I'm good for pushing reparations, but I ain't good for FBA. I'm too rough around the edges. I'd be on some FBU. Yeah, I can't. So I could push the reparations part, but the other part I can't do all the arguing and stuff. I got PTSD. I don't know what you questioning me for. Shut up. Oh, I worry about what I'm is. I get my speech go bad. I start sounding all ghetto. I worry about what I'm is. M-I-Z. Yeah, me is what I'm is. I worry about what I'm is. I worry about what you is. With the word punk behind it, I can't do it, man. I don't like nobody questioning me with my decision. You know what I'm saying? You some African, you try and question me. Shut up and go fix Africa. Man, go back to Africa and sweep. Y'all ain't got no brooms. No. Y'all ain't got no street sweepers. It's dusty as hell over there. I can't go back to Africa anyway. I got too many kids and grandkids. They ain't going. Back to Africa is dudes that's dry down there and ain't making no babies. I'm a baby maker. I can't go back to Africa. I made too many babies over here. When babies make babies. I got babies and I got children and grandchildren. I can't go back no Africa. Not that I ever was there. I wasn't every house boy in Chicago. I don't know nothing about Africa. You know what I'm saying? I know this. I know one thing about going back to Africa, and we're going to get back on the subject. I definitely can't go back to Africa with no foundational black American queen. So I can't go anyway. I can't go back. I can't take no queen to Africa. I would have to get an African queen over there, which I ain't gonna wait till I get over there. I'm like Tupac. I get round, but I can't take no foundational black American queen to Africa because foundational black American women, I know they not still over there because they don't like bugs. They don't like spiders, and I know Africa got some African spiders that they'll be ready to come back. I think that one sister, her and her man moved over there. Y'all see the kind of chubby sister? She trying to hurry up get back. She said because it was bugs. That was funny. She says big old bugs over here. She ready to come back. Boy, that was funny. She got over there. But girl, you know where you going? It's warm over there. Steve Harvey says he's seen a mosquito look like it could pick him up and fly away with him. Boy, people don't know where they're going. Snakes, poisonous snakes, not garden snakes like in Chicago. Nah, poisonous snakes. It's Africa. Warm weather. Mosquitoes, malaria, all that. How you gonna go to Africa? A lot of y'all that live up north, y'all can't even go to Alabama and Mississippi. You wouldn't like it. But I want to talk about foundational Black Americans and why everybody is all upset that all we did was put foundational in front of Black Americans because we've been separate. I don't know why people keep saying we trying to separate when people have us separate already. What is this fake stuff where everybody act like they accept us and we all one? And that foundational Black Americans are the ones that's separating us. Oh, right. Yeah, right. Because me and the Nigerians and everybody, we just really tight. Right. I'm confused. I mean, ain't no, it ain't that type of unity ain't even going on. This Chicago, we ain't got no allies like that. It's just us. We don't got no other blacks here in Chicago. No allies like that. Who? Who's our ally in Chicago for Foundational Black America? Y'all talking about all this unity. Who's unified? Because we the number one representative of Foundational Black America is blacks in Chicago. Because we in the middle and we ain't on the coast and we don't got all them immigrants. Here is black and white, period, with some sprinkles of some other people. But the Midwest, Chicago, is black people and white people. Ain't no Haitians here like that, like in Florida and New York. Ain't no whole bunch of Jamaicans here. It's a handful of them. When they have a party, it's a little club with 20 of them in there. But ain't no other blacks here like that. Ain't no whole bunch of Africans here in January when it's 2 below 0. They go to Texas and warmer places. They'll go to New York because it's on the coast. But Chicago is black Americans. So who are these allies that I'm separating from? Does anybody know? When I become foundational Black American and I delineate, which blacks am I delineating from? Do I got some secret friends I don't know something about? Do I got like a team of some other blacks that I don't know about? Can anybody help me in the chat? Who's the blacks that I'm separating from? Who I'm united with? Which blacks are black Chicagoans united with? Which blacks are helping us here? Because I'm confused. Where's our black? Who's our black friends in Chicago? Name me some. Name me some black immigrants that's our friends. Maybe I'm missing them. Anybody know who I'm separating from? Who's so united with me? Who? Who's these friends that I'm separating from? These black friends. Who? Because they say we separating. From who? From who? Any African brothers over here? You feel like I'm separating from you? Because if you feel like I'm separating from you, show me where we do anything together. If I'm separated from you, because I must be missing something. Because everything I do here, and the only allies I got here is foundational Black Americans. Period. Only allies I really got. The Jamaicans is cool, but it's not enough of them to help us. How they gonna help us? It's just a handful of them. I'm confused. Because if I have any problems, I got to call Foundation of Black Americans. I can't call no other blacks. Who? What other black minorities I could call when something happened? Like I just left, I was just with, how many? 5 dudes. Ain't nobody in that van with nothing but Foundation of Black Americans. I don't be around no other blacks like that. Now, if I go up to Bongo Beach, I see my Jamaican brethren and stuff like that, but our lives is foundational black Americans. We don't have any black allies like that. The Jamaican brethren, they cool, but they here trying to do their own thing. They trying to make money and stick with their own kind so they can feel a sense of being at home. You know what I mean? You all the way from Jamaica, you're gonna try to find a bunch of Jamaicans to hang out with, rightfully so. But I'm trying to figure out where's all this unity we missing that we messing up. Cause I ain't seen no unity like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no when people be trying to talk that, they be lying. You know, people be talking about we all brothers and try to make it seem like we got some kind of working situation. They be lying. They be lying. It don't be no black immigrants at our churches, no black immigrants at our dinner parties, no black immigrants at our birthday parties, our weddings. They don't, that's all make believe. Everything we go to be all foundational black America. Sometimes we'll go something to at work, an event, and it be white and blacks. But there is no situations that I know of where we be mingling with other blacks. The only time in my life and history we've ever mingled with other blacks is when reggae was big and we went to the reggae clubs. And we went to the reggae clubs, we was around some Trinidadians and Jamaicans. But it's not systemic nothing. Chicago is black American. How you gonna be around Jamaicans? This is not Jamaica. There's no Jamaicans here, but a handful. There's no Jamaicans here like that. Like those, like there's nobody. There's no black immigrants here to be separated from. Oh, you just typing anything. If you trolling, I'm gonna have to make you come back because you can't just be over here typing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You know, you just typing anything. That's not what the chat is for. End of days. This chat is to discuss, stay on discussion. It's just not a chat for you just to be blurting out. Okay? Please behave yourself. And change your name because end of days, you chanting your own destruction. You should get a more positive name, like long life or something. Why would you want to call yourself in your days? Change that. They say black and brown community, but we don't be together like that. Like here in Chicago, like the Mexicans and them, they live like South Chicago or they live over in little villages over in little village. Where we live in our neighborhoods, we not see them, we don't see them. We're not gonna just go over to little village to hang out with them. They're not gonna leave little village or come in no black neighborhood. You know, people don't understand how communities are set up. I think some of these people live in like places like New York where everybody's on piled on top of each other and there's Puerto Ricans and blacks all live together. But these other cities like Chicago is not set up like that. We don't live close to each other. We don't see each other like that. Maybe if we work together. In Chicago, I can go a whole year and don't see nobody but black people. If I work in my community, I ain't gonna see nobody. I don't think people understand the reality of how we really live in the United States. I think they got like a make believe television concept, and they definitely, most people you live in, where you live at is about this big. So that, you know, you couldn't even imagine how big Chicago is. Chicago is huge. And even in places like up here where I'm at, there's all different type of people, but we don't really live together. Everybody just lives, you know, everybody just lives, but not together. So when you go outside, nobody's waving and talking to each other. Everybody's just going doing what they got to do. It's not really together. Everybody live up here, but it's not together. It might be small groups of two or three. They might be Armenians and they together, and two or three from somewhere they together, and like that. But it's not like people ain't coming outside. Hey, y'all, everybody, we're a group. We're together. Let's hug it. That's not how city life is. What's going on, Ira? City's life is not like that. City's life is you want to go to the store, you, your wife, and two children. Okay, I got to run to the store. Maybe your son or your daughter want to run with you. You go to the store, you get what you're going to get, you go back home. You're not mingling. You're just going to the store and coming back home. You're not going to the store and holding hands in the store. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. That's not real life. Real life is people is isolated in their homes doing their thing. A couple of friends go to that home. They might have friends or relatives go to their home. Even on the block, everybody's not. The only people who hang out on the block is the children. The adults don't. The adults don't mingle in real life. I don't know. In real life, you're not gonna see a bunch of adults in no community standing outside talking. What is this? What is this fake unity stuff? Neighbors, hey, and go where they going and come back. Neighbors aren't hanging out like that. You can go on any block. You're not gonna see no neighbors hanging out. The only people you might see standing around is young dudes in their 20s. They have a tendency to bunch up five of what's stand around, but regular people, everybody lives separately anyway. So what is FBA splitting up? There's nothing unified like that. That's like make believe, making a scenario so that you could say, don't mess up a scenario. But the scenario you don't want to mess up don't even exist. So it's like saying don't separate black people when black people ain't united like that. Black people, there's no, listen, if everybody's got to go to work and we work at a lot of different places, how are we united? We don't work on the same time zone. If you're a trucker Are you united with another black dude that's a teacher? No. He gets up and he goes teach. You get up and hit the road. What unity? If you're a trucker, your unity is mostly the other truckers. If you're a teacher, your unity is whoever's at school teaching with you. I mean, in the real world, so us calling ourselves foundational black Americans, all we doing is just taking black Americans and putting foundational in front of it to delineate. So we'll be just like Nigerians and Ethiopians and Mexicans. Why are people mad that we want to be like everybody else? Because everybody else is already delineated. Delineation only means to specifically identify. That's it. We want to be specifically identified. And we want to be identified as the black people that been over here. I'm not the same as a Jamaican. You came over here. You're a black person that came. I'm a black person that been here since the country started. There is no history of my family coming here. That's just a fact. How is that a bad thing to distinguish those two? And why do a bunch of blacks that don't never try to unify with us say we pushing division? How can Africans say anybody pushing division when Africa's divided? A lot of this stuff is some of the phoniest stuff ever. When you talk about foundational black Americans pushing division, when you got a big continent with 3,000 tribes that don't get along, that's about as phony as you can get. Because you're insinuating that Africans are united. And we're the only ones, okay? Nobody really breaks that down. All you other blacks, let me explain something to you. You're not united, okay? So stop with the fake unity that foundational black Americans represent division. You are not united. All you brothers from the Caribbean, y'all ain't united. Hell, in Jamaica, you PLP and JLP. ADOS is not a movement. ADOS is recognizing lineage. These are not movements. FBA is not a movement. FBA is a title. ADOS is a title, not a movement. It's not a movement. People want to make us a movement. Is being a Nigerian a movement? And so people really don't get that it's a title. Foundational Black Americans is a title, like Nigerian, like Jamaican. Nobody asked Jamaicans what's going on with the Jamaican movement. Nobody asked Nigerians what's going on with the Nigerian movement. That's why I say this is unbelievable that people don't understand that foundational Black American is not a movement, it's our lineage. We are the blacks that been here. It's just that simple. If you're a Moor and you was here and you say you've been here and the country becomes America, you're a foundational Black American because you've been here since America. That doesn't stop you from being a Moor. That just identifies you as the ones that been here. Because you could be a Moor that just came here. There's going to be a difference between a Moor that been here the whole time and a Moor that came here in the 70s. Y'all ain't the same. A Moor that comes here in the 70s ain't the same as a Moor that traces his family back and his family don't go nowhere But here, they're not the same. They're not the same. And so people really don't understand that foundational Black American is nothing but Black American. If you didn't complain about us being called Black Americans, why are you complaining when we put foundational in front of it? That's it. Black American with foundational in front of it. That's it. Foundational Black American. Same thing, different title. Same thing. It's the same thing. Delineate is not about not liking. Delineate just means you're El Salvadorian. It doesn't have anything to do with not liking. It doesn't have anything to do with separating. It has something to do with specifically identifying that you are an El Salvadorian. It doesn't have to have anything to do with Mexicans. It doesn't have to have anything to do with not liking them, or not liking them. That has nothing to do with it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, AJ. It has nothing to do with liking and disliking or separating. It's a lineage. And it's like nobody wants to get that part. A lineage has nothing to do with feelings. You can't feel like you're a Mexican. You're just a Mexican. Now, because you're a Mexican, it doesn't mean you dislike anybody. You're just a Mexican. If he's a Mexican and he's a Puerto Rican, it has nothing to do with liking. He's a Puerto Rican. He's identifying his lineage. To be a Puerto Rican is to delineate. This is what the problem is. People don't know what delineate means. It's the craziest, most ridiculous thing ever. It's just ridiculous. It's like the educational system has failed us. They're making it like something that's so basic, but they're trying to make it so, I don't know. Look. Indicate the exact position of a border or boundary. Look, delineation. Watch this. It's just crazy. Yeah, to define something specifically. It's it. It is delineation, the action of describing or portraying something precisely. Foundational Black Americans, meaning the Black Americans that been here. It's that simple, which is what we are. You're a Mexican. That's delineation. It's describing you as somebody from Mexico. That family comes from Mexico. It doesn't represent division. Okay? This is the craziest stuff ever. So the others don't realize their delineation, that they are delineated. That's basically. Nigerians don't realize they delineated. basically, because you're a Nigerian. He's a Ghanaian. That's delineation. That's not division. That's an exact description that this one bloodline goes to Nigeria, and this one bloodline go to Ghana, and this one bloodline go to Ethiopia. That's it. People are totally uneducated. So they believe that you guys is causing division because we want to describe ourselves specifically. But the reality is we're not causing division. The reality is you are uneducated. Okay? You're totally uneducated, unintelligent. All you had to do was look the word up. That's all you had to do. All you had to do was look it up, and you'd be like, oh, okay. They're just describing who they are specifically. So as foundational Black Americans, we have people from other places that describing themselves specifically telling us we shouldn't. You a Nigerian saying that because I want to practice delineation, that I represent division, but you're practicing delineation because you're a Nigerian, dude. You're a Nigerian. You're not an African. The Africans don't call themselves Africans. That's delineation. If they wasn't delineated, they all said they was Africans. They're not. Not only do they represent their country, they represent their tribes. So even in Ethiopia, they're not Ethiopians. Ethiopians aren't even, you say Ethiopians should call themselves Africans? Ethiopians don't even call themselves Ethiopians. They are delineated in Ethiopia. They're delineated. The Tigrayans are Tigrayans, and that's their flag. The Aroma are Aroma, and that's their flag. The Amhara are Amhara, and that's their flag. And all three of these flags are tribes in Ethiopia. They are Ethiopians. Well, if they're Ethiopians, why they got three different flags? Because they're delineated by tribes. All three of those flags are under the flag of the country. All three of these flags are under this flag. This is the flag for the country Ethiopia. These three tribes live in Ethiopia, but they are under this flag. The Amhara is under this flag. The Aroma is under that flag. The Tigrayans are under that flag. And those three flags are all under the Ethiopian flag. They are delineated by tribe, and they're delineated by country. They're Ethiopian and they're Tigrayan. They're Ethiopian and Aroma. They're delineated three times because they're Africans and they're Ethiopians and they're either Tigrayan or Roma. Because to be an African is delineated. To be a Chinese is delineated. You're specifically a Chinese. And we're specifically foundational Black Americans. And foundational Black Americans is nothing but Black Americans with the word foundational in the front of it. And the fact that we just moved Black American over and put foundational in front of it, and you having a baby means you're uneducated. Totally. And you're a hater. And you never liked us because you're already delineated. So if you're a delineated person on this planet that's hating on our delineation, first you're slow and you're evil and you're a hater. Because how can a delineated Nigerian say anything about a delineated foundational Black American? You delineated. So it's like the world wants to be delineated and don't want us to be a delineated, which is how the world treats foundational Black Americans too. Basically. But still everything we do. So yeah, if we delineate, you can't say them dances you still in, the way you dressing and the way you rapping and everything. You don't have to give us our credit for it. If you go do some Chinese stuff, everybody gonna say it's Chinese. But people want to do our culture that we develop, and if we not delineated, then they could just steal it. There's nothing to identify that. That's foundational Black American rap. That's foundational Black American dress. That's foundational Black. All them women in Africa is wearing their hair like foundational Black American women. Foundational Black American women used to straighten their hair like European women and then develop their own foundational Black American way to straighten it and do it. White women with straight hair don't wear their hair like Black women here that wear wigs and weaves and stuff. That's strictly foundational Black America. Africa wasn't doing that. They stole that from us. Africa is doing 75% of foundational Black American behavior. 75%. 75% of what they do in Africa is foundational Black American culture. And 10% is Jamaican culture. Afrobeat is stolen from Jamaicans and just mixed with some African music. Wouldn't be no Afrobeat if it wasn't for reggae and dancehall. Went for reggae and dancehall, wouldn't be no Afrobeat. So when you don't allow people to delineate, then you could steal. But you delineate, nobody could steal your stuff, but you could steal everybody else's stuff. So this is the main problem with us delineating and identifying what's ours. But to me, I think delineating is a great thing for foundational Black Americans. Because we gangbang here, we could do it different. Could be worse. I'm just saying. It could be worse. We could take another route. And see, some of this leadership y'all got, y'all should love to Tyreek's Y'all should love Tyreek because he's doing it in a real decent way. Me, I probably wouldn't do it like that. My way would probably be a little rougher. I would probably do it in a way where you wouldn't have no choice but to. I wouldn't give you no choice. I'm just saying. Your respect is period. I wouldn't be, I wouldn't, my way, I wouldn't be debating with you what we are. Period. You just accept it, or it would be problems. Period. And you call Africa and tell people don't say that because that's not cool. That's not good for me over here. If I was doing it my way. So y'all should love Tyreek, the fact we want to do it his way and not my way. Because I just make you offer you can't refuse. If we was doing it my way, you wouldn't be allowed to question us, especially on American soil. And we'd block you off of all our social media. If it was my way, I wouldn't be talking to no Africans questioning me. We'd block all of you. The only people be talking to us is the ones that understand. You don't understand, block them. Get them out of here. You wouldn't have no chance to even talk to us. We wouldn't watch your video or nothing. We wouldn't engage at all, which is really the way we should do it. But I'm going to let them do it the way they doing. But the way we should do it, we should cut everybody off and don't give a damn what they say. We should cut them off. Go talk to each other about it. Don't talk to us. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't give you opportunity to talk to me about it, period. This is what it is. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't even talk to you. You would never come into none of our lives or nothing. You would not be trolling us. You would not come into our lives. Other Foundation Black men, don't come tell us what nobody else said. That would be a violation. You come telling me what some African that's hating on us said, that'd be a violation. Whose side you on? Because that's how it is in the hood. You can't come over here and keep telling us somebody hate on us because we're going to be looking at you crazy. Why you keep coming over here telling us what they saying? Here in Chicago, or if you go to jail or you go to prison and you coming back with bad information about what somebody said, well, you know what happened to you when you were the monkey in the middle and you playing monkey in the middle and you bringing back bad vibes back. We looking at you like, why you keep wanting to come tell us this negative stuff all the time? Stop come telling us what they say. Let they punk asses come over here and tell us then. You know what I'm saying? Why you doing their dirty work? So my thing, I wouldn't be on the internet arguing with no African. I'd be like, holler at me outside. That's how I would go with the Africans. I'd be like, listen, man, I'm in Chicago. Where you at? You in Chicago? You want to talk about this? Where you want to meet me at? That's how I would do it. Let's not do this on the internet. Let's do it so I could get it really through your. I can't get it through your head on the internet, but face to face, I could get it. I could get it through your head. You gonna understand. See, it's like this, and this is how it is. And this ain't your turf. So watch yourself, because we delineate, and we're gonna represent our turf. This not your turf. This not Nigeria. This not Ethiopia. This not none of that. This ain't that. You can do that. You got to go do that over there where you at. with all that tribalism y'all be on. The reason y'all can't get y'all stuff together in Africa, because y'all don't respect each other's delineation. Y'all over there beefing. We over here got enough problems. We got enough. We got our own gang problems stuff. We got our own problems. We ain't got time to let you bring no more problems to us. Especially when you and Johnny come lately and you wasn't here when we was picking cotton. You wasn't here. You waited till the coast got clear. So black immigrants that's watching this, don't come over here after we finally get free and get stuff jumping and come over here popping your collar. You didn't come over here when it was smoke. You didn't come over here when it was Rosa Parks and all that. So now when Trump throw all the Somalis out of Minnesota, don't cry to me. Bye. I remember somebody told me some Somalian was up there talking crazy about me. I didn't care. He in Minnesota. He was in Minnesota. That boy with the kind of Chicago playing with me, boy, what? Boy, come on, bro. Stay your ass in Minnesota. That's why you in Minnesota. That's why y'all ain't in Chicago strong like that. Yeah, that ain't gonna never happen. It ain't no African strong in Chicago. No Jamaicans or nobody else. Not here. Ain't no black immigrants strong here. Venezuelans ain't strong here. Cause I remember when they came, y'all thought they was gonna be all strong, didn't you? No, they ain't nothing. And they stayed out the way and they beefed with each other. They did not beef with us. Yeah, they going for them. They're gonna throw the Haitians out. They're gonna throw all of them out. All them Africans, all them Haitians, all that's why a lot of black people like Trump. Because he's gonna make it better for foundational black Americans. Because and I don't care because them blacks should have united with us. But they came on some separatist stuff. So bye. Ain't no sweat off my you name my friend. I don't even know you. Instead of coming and being a melanated brother, that's why all of that fake Pan African stuff. That's why people like SETI and them, that's why they bozos. Because they ain't getting no benefit from that Pan. Ain't no Africans helping him. He just said he just a sucker. Chasing behind somebody don't even like him. How you a general? A general's supposed to hold down their own turf where they at. Ain't no general holding down somebody else's turf somewhere else. He's supposed to be the general right here. He ain't no general. He a buster. Boy, he's supposed to be holding down Detroit. I don't support Somali. No. I support foundational black Americans. I don't know no Somalis. And look what you asked me. Let me ask you something. Do Somalis support me? Look at this question. Do I support somebody? It's always like that. It's always about do we support somebody? Do they support us? That's a fair question. Do Somalis support me? Yes or no? Do Nigerians support me? Do Somalians support me? Do Ghanaians support me? No, they don't. We on our own. We ain't got no support. The only support foundational black Americans get is from white Americans. Facts. There's white Americans that look out for us here. That's a fact. Not all white Americans is racist. Facts. That's absolute fact. No, it's white people here that support us. People see racist white people and try to dump them all together. That's bull. I know some white boys that'll get at you right now. I got some white friends. I don't got to call black gang members. I got some white friends. If I call them, they'll get at you. Facts. They'll get at you. We got white friends over here. I don't do fake make believe stuff. We've we've done mostly on our own, but we've had a lot of white help. To be honest with you, there's whites that went against whites over us. If you know the history, some people over exaggerated. No, nobody. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because when we got the reparations, it was a white dude that got that. It was a white dude that worked with Lincoln that told Lincoln he needed to give us reparations. And then he gave it to us. Then they unalived Lincoln and took it back. But there was a white dude that was fighting for reparations, was hanging out with the black brothers and took the black brothers to meet with Lincoln. Do your history. Look it up. Look it up. There was a white man working with black people to get reparations for them. That's a fact. Look it up. Bet 1,000. Ethiopians stay off to themselves, but that's between them. Listen, whatever happens between the American government and other Africans is between American government and Africans. Just like whatever happens to American government and us is between us and other Africans. Everybody get treated the same. Whatever happened to us is between us and the government. Nobody steps in. So whatever happens to anybody else is between them and the government. Nobody steps in. We're going to play the game the same way the game's played. We don't have no aid and assistance. So all this fake aid and assistance, when you don't get no aid and assistance, is not going to happen. As far as Africans go, as far as Africans being brothers and sisters, I can speak for Foundational Black America, say that if the Africans is our brothers and sisters, they have been the worst brothers and sisters you could ever have in your life, even from the very beginning. They never did nothing for us. And it's a billion of them. They never came here to fight for us. We stood up for them when it came to apartheid, but Africans never stood up for us, not a day in their life. They some cowards. They've never assisted us. All of them African kings and them never sent us $1. Nothing. They could be over there in Ghana and stuff with a whole bunch of gold. None of them ever came in and told the president here, I bought us a gift for the Black Americans. Not one. The only African that ever spoke for us was Emperor Haile Selassie. Emperor Haile Selassie, the only one. Rastafari is the only one. Ain't no African never gave us a piece of bubble gum. Not a one. Not a one. And this is countries where they got gold, diamonds, everything. Ain't sent us a pair of earrings. Not a one. And that's the big home. It's $1 billion of them. It's 50 million of us. Why do they want the 50 million to run behind the billion? The billion's supposed to be the one. Not only not just us, they don't do nothing for Jamaica. Marcus Garvey was a Pan-African, right? From Jamaica, right? How much some African countries did for black Jamaicans? Because if you know something, you know that the Jamaicans and Ghanaians was beefing in Ghana. They don't even respect the Jamaicans. And the Jamaicans is the one that put Pan-Africanism on the map. Reggae put Pan-Africanism on the map. And the Africans they only help Jamaicans. How you don't help Jamaicans? Jamaicans was the most African ones over here. Rastas pushed Africa. And what did Africa do for Rasta? Did they give the Rastafarians in Jamaica and Trinidad, did they give them a quarter? No. They went to Ethiopia and they chased them out over there. You know, they had to leave from over there. Let's take a break and we'll finish the conversation. Let me tell you something. As a foundational Black American in Chicago, here in Chicago, we just reached 400 murders this year. Now, all 400 of them ain't black, but you can bet it's more than 250. It's more than 250. Now, I don't know how many is Hispanic, but I would assume if it's 400, I would assume that for blacks, it would be probably about 275. Probably. And 125 Hispanic, or it might be 250 and 150 Hispanic. My point of saying that is that we got our own problems we need to be working on. You know, I can't see Black Americans always trying to save everybody else with all the problems we got. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother issue. Like, we need to be working on housing here. We need to be working on transportation here for ourselves. We need to be working on business for ourselves, agriculture and food for ourselves. Foundational Black Americans, we don't need to be hating other blacks, but we do need to be concentrating on ourselves. Because hating on other blacks ain't going to fix our situation either. What's going to fix our situation is we need to concentrate on ourselves. Seriously. We need to provide our own jobs, our own food, our own transportation, build homes, buy stuff, put money together, work together. The Black man got to learn the foundational Black American man got to learn how to work with the other foundational Black American man and not cheat, not do the job. Don't be lazy. Don't be stealing. Don't rip off. Don't be arguing. Don't break up. Build companies. Build unity. The idea of you trying to build unity with somebody else, like let's take Chicago. Somebody say, brother, all Black people should unite. Well, I'm in Chicago. So when you come tell me that we should be concentrating on uniting globally, I'm going to tell you, well, guess what? In Chicago, we got BDs, GDs, Blackstone, Vice, all kind of Vice lords, Four Corner hustlers. Which should we do? Should we be trying to unite with some other blacks, or should we be trying to get these gangs right here in Chicago, these foundational Black American gangs, to chill? We got our own unity that we got to get amongst ourselves. We ain't got time to be chasing no other blacks. They got to do what they got to do. We don't even have ourselves together, and that's the sad thing about it. Foundational Black Americans ain't doing everything we need to do for the foundational Black Americans. How we going to concentrate on somebody else? Kumbaya. And we shouldn't be doing nothing for Africans. They the ones got all the diamonds over there, all the gold and stuff. If they supposed to be trying to do something for us, that's backwards. That's backwards. It's backwards for the 50 million to try to help the billion. It's only 50 million foundational Black Americans. It's a billion Africans. So you're telling me the 50 million supposed to try to help the billion? And that's why I say SETI is a bozo, because he ain't doing nothing for us over here, but he dreaming about Africa, but he dang near 50 years old and he ain't never went. How long are you going to sit in Detroit talking about Africa? While the Europeans buying up all of Detroit, gentrified Detroit, ran everything down, bought up all the property, and going to totally rebuild Detroit and move him out. If he don't focus on Detroit, he's going to have to go his goofy ass to Africa. He up there trying to talk about what somebody did in Egypt 15,000 years ago. Let me tell you something, man. You ain't no Sarah. You ain't no Pharaoh. We pharaohs build now. Pharaohs don't do history. You can tell him I said it. If he a Sarah, then he's supposed to be a Sarah now. He ain't supposed to be reading bedtime stories about no Sarah back 10,000 years ago. I don't care nothing about dude back then. I don't care nothing about no Pharaoh and what they was doing way back then. I don't care. None. I'm not having children retro. I'm not having children in ancient history. I'm having children this way. I'm having grandbabies and great grandbabies in the future. I don't got no babies in the past. None. I'm not trying to think about sleeping with no woman in the past. I'm trying to hit something tonight, tomorrow. I'm trying to get up in some women in the future. You know, I ain't sitting around telling stories about women I slept with in the 70s. That's what that's like. That's what he doing. That's what said he be doing. He's sitting up talking about women he slept with before. He ain't trying to hit nothing tomorrow, next week, next month. He trying, you know what I'm saying? Man, I don't care nothing about history. Let me tell you something. Look at your body, and your body tell you everything you need to know about history. What I mean by that? That's the future. That's history. Where my eyes at? Right here, looking which way? That way. Which way my feet point? That way. Which way is the easiest to walk? That way. The only thing back there is boo-boo. Waste is what happens behind you. Facts. It's science. Y'all want science? Guess what happens behind? Guess what happened in the past? I went to the toilet in the past. I got to eat in the future. Eating is this way. Boo-booing is that way. So if your mind is back there, you're full of crap. Okay? All them great pharaohs are great because they was dealing with the future. None of them was great because they was dealing with the past. Everybody said he teach about was futuristic. Every last one of them was building kingdoms for the future, building armies for the future. He's sitting up there reading nursery rhymes about way back there like a goofy. Don't nobody want to hear that. That's why he on social media. Because brothers like him and me and stuff, we lost a lot of money with Pan-Africanism. Because Pan-Africanism have you dreaming to go to Africa. So are you going to buy homes here? No. Are you going to invest here? No. Because you're dreaming about Africa. Pan-Africanism wasted a whole bunch of money. A whole bunch of investments didn't get made. When the Jamaicans was up in the hill, had the best land where they grow all the coffee. When they heard Marcus Garvey talk about the Black Star Liner gonna come and get them and take them to Africa, them Jamaicans left that plush land and went down to what you know now is shanty towns in Kingston. This is real history, waiting on the Black Star Liner. The Black Star Liner never came, and the governments and the rich people took that land, and that's how them Jamaicans end up in Kingston and in them slums. This is real history. Them slums was made because them black people gave up their land to come to listen to Garvey to go to Africa, and the Black Star Liner never came. Straight like that. And that's why when Garvey got out of prison and went to Jamaica, that's why they was throwing rocks at him, and that's why they hated him, and that's why he had to run up to Canada. Facts. When Marcus Garvey went back to Jamaica, they hated him because he made them lose all their land. And he cheated the people and took a bunch of money and bought trash ships that didn't cost the same amount of money he got. He embezzled them people, and he bought garbage-ass ships. He bought ships that wasn't seaworthy with all them people's money. So what did he do with the money? It's like I tell you, you tell me you're gonna get a Bentley, and I give you money to get a Bentley, and then you come with an old raggedy Volkswagen that's rusted out. But I gave you Bentley money. That's what Marcus Garvey did. Marcus Garvey was a two-bit snake con man, and he conned them people out their money. And the feds locked him up. And the feds told him, we're going to let you out, and you're going to shut up. Because if you don't, we're going to go tell your people what you really did. Facts. The feds gave him a pass, let him out, and didn't tell what he really did, how he robbed them. You think they locked him up for mail fraud for nothing? No, they locked him up. He really had committed mail fraud. He didn't go to jail. He didn't get set up. He was a snake. He was a two-bit con man. And they were selling all type of illegal substances out of their office. Of their office, their organization. That organization building, they were selling all kinds of stuff because Leonard Howard went up there. They were selling hashish and everything out of there. As a matter of fact, go watch Boardwalk Empire. And then go at Boardwalk Empire, there's this black dude that come from New York, and he a pimp, right? And he was selling H. And he represented Marcus Garvey's organization. They showed you, but people didn't know it. Go look at Boardwalk Empire. And the pimp in Boardwalk Empire, Chalky White. Chalky White. they was dropping hits about Marcus Garvey's organization. That's a fact. I'm writing a book on ganja, and I got a lot of that information in there because they were selling hashish and H and everything out of Garvey's headquarters. It's a fact. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Marcus Garvey was a gangster. He was not a nice man. And when Henry Clark went to see him, Henry Clark said he was very disappointed because he went to see Marcus Garvey and he went all the way up to Canada to see him. And he said Marcus Garvey was one of the worst men he ever met in his life. That's what he said. He said Marcus Garvey was mean and was nasty to him. Dr. Henry Clark. Marcus Garvey was a gangster. It's a fact. These look like nice guys? Y'all be outside. What do these look like? You see dude on your far left, got his hands pocket? You see the one also on your left of Marcus Garvey with the glass on? See he got his hands pocket? You see the one right there next to Garvey on y'all right? What did they draw out? What did they get rid of? These don't look like gangsters. These look like pro-black. They look pro-black. Look at the one next to Garvey with the glass on. He look pro-black. Huh? They look like back to Africa? Do they look like they planning to go to Africa? So listen, y'all, we got to focus on what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? We got to focus on reparations. We got to focus on what we're going to do as these people go into a cashless society. Because they trying to squeeze us out now for sure. Because they see we getting the knowledge to get cash. So now that we getting the knowledge to get cash, now they want to go debit, credit, and cashes. Like things are serious. And the last place you want to be is in Africa. Africa is not where you want to be because Africa got all the natural resources. Africa's a war zone. Only a fool. See, nobody, elders didn't teach me what I'm teaching y'all. Why would you go defenseless and sit on top of all the gold, all the platinum, all the uranium, all the diamonds, all the oil, all the cocoa, all the coffee? Why would you go there and sit on top of all them natural resources with no continental army, navy, Air Force, Marine? And that's why I tell you about these dudes be talking about they Sarahs and they, no, they not. Because if you a pharaoh, if you a king, you're going to think about military. And if you're going to think about military, then you know Africa ain't ready. Because it's a bunch of different countries that speak a bunch of different languages. They got no continental Air Force. They got no continental Navy. They got no continental Army. And they have no continental Marines or Coast Guard. They just sitting ducks. And the biggest armies is Algeria and Egypt and the foreigners at the top of the continent. That's a fact. Hey, when I was check this out. This was some years ago, and I was doing a lot of videos about Africa. So I wanted to show, I was going to show you how America trying to, got them black dudes controlling military in Africa. But I wanted to show some African military. So I went to Google and I searched military. All the biggest military was like these dudes that look like Gaddafi, foreign dudes. All the biggest military, the ones that had the real power, that was Algeria, Egypt, up there. They got stronger military than everybody. They could go take Burkina just like that. The biggest, strongest military is them foreigners at the top of Africa. And you got to understand, here's Europe, here's the north part of Africa, here's all the wealth, right? All right, the Africans are sitting ducks. Because everything, if they're going to do any trade to Europe, they got to go through Algeria, Egypt, and all of them. Look at right now, Egypt and Ethiopia finna go to war because Ethiopia built that dam, and Egypt said, we told you don't build that dam. Africa is a sitting duck. Got no military might or nothing. That dude in Burkina, he ain't nothing. He be gone any day now. That man ain't got no power. How he got power? They just trying to figure a way to go in there and invade them and take it without blowing up the land so they can go get them natural resources. They don't want to blow up the natural resource. That's it. If it wasn't for a natural resource, they'll blow that place to smithereens. Us as foundational Black Americans, we need to figure out what we're going to do. We need to get unity between ourselves. We don't need to be trying to unite with nobody else. Imagine you live in a house. There's 5 children in the house. Across the street is a house. There's 5 children in that house. In your house with the 5 children, y'all don't get along. Y'all don't like each other. But y'all constantly talk about people telling y'all should unite with the children across the street. How you going to unite with the children across the street when you don't even get along? Foundational Black Americans, we're going to have to figure out how we can get along. But we ain't got time to be thinking about no Africans or nobody. This is why it's nothing military about none of these Pan-Africans. That's Umar setting up. They got no military mentality. None. Because our number one goal should be unity right here, to defend ourselves right here and to build right here. We ain't even supposed to be thinking about no Africa at all. You do not think about Africa when you are sitting duck right here without enough military capabilities right here to defend yourself, and you dream about Africa. And you ain't got the way to get to Africa. You got to go beg the Europeans even take your ass to Africa. You don't got no planes. So how you going to be a radical and go to Africa when you got to go buy a ticket from a European American? To be a revolutionary, to be a Pan-African, you got to go buy a ticket from United and TWA and American Airlines. And get on their runway that's controlled by their military and their air traffic controllers and their jets and their Air Force watching everything. Make some sense. Talking about you a general. General Mills like cereal. Said he ain't no general. He a goofy trying to push a, a nonsense Pan-African concept rather than being a real general and create his own ideology and his own concept. Generals and leaders don't follow. We lead. I'm superior over him because I'm doing my own analogies myself. I'm not following no weirdo, weak Pan-African concept that been flopped and ain't gonna never get off the ground. It's all Pan and no African. You ain't got nothing to be no Pan-African. You ain't even got a peace shooter. That ain't no general. That's nonsense, make-believe hocus pocus. Hell, he couldn't even beat me. So how you gonna go to Africa? I ain't saying I'm a beef when that's still my brother, but I'm just getting the point across. So that he got to change. I'm not saying this to beef with him. I'm trying to get him to. He got to stop. He just wasting time. He ain't never gonna go to Africa. And if he do to go to Africa, he's just gonna be a puppet there in a pond. He ain't gonna have no military might in no Africa, none. And he ain't got no military might here, zero. We don't have ourselves together. I don't know what's wrong with us. We need to be riding with the concept of foundational Black Americans. We need to be pushing for reparations, and we need to be unified to figure out what we gonna do here, because we need to be powerful here and let the Africans do their own thing. Pan-Africans, like Sarasun said, is illegitimate leadership. He's totally illegitimate as a leader. There's no way him living with 50 million people, he should be thinking about no billion people. It's a billion Africans. He should not be thinking about them. If anything, he should be telling them, get their stuff together and do what they got to do. He should be focusing on the 50 million, not dreaming to run like a little chicken to the billion with no plans to do nothing here. To the point where he done fell off, he doing gossip. You know what I'm saying? He don't really want no smoke on his dick. He done fell off doing gossip, talking about what rappers doing and stuff. You know, anything for a quarter on here. Because that knowledge ain't worth 2 cents. He doing gossip. I was disappointed with Seti. Tell him I said it. Tell him I'm disappointed with his content. He ain't like Big Pharaoh. You don't see me constantly talking about what no rappers doing every time. Rappers just reporting anything for $1 from YouTube because you don't know how to get no money out here. You don't hear saying anything. Blueface, anything. I seen him. I said, what the hell said he that fell off? Oh, okay. He done fell off. He doing gossip. Bruh, get your goofy ass out of there. How you go from a general with knowledge to doing gossip? You know why? Because you got to pay these YouTube bills. Know what I'm saying? See, with YouTube, you get paid. So you got to sit up and make up content. So I just be losing money because I ain't finna just make up no content. That's why I ain't been over here today, because I ain't had nothing to say worthwhile. I'm not finna get on this internet like a goofy and just be talking about 50 Cent dropped a thing about Diddy. I know what's going on, but we supposed to be standing on principles. We supposed to be standing on principles. We ain't supposed to be over here and you supposed to be some type of Black conscious leader and stuff, and you doing goofy. You doing the same thing Poetic Flacco doing. Like you a red, black, and green Poetic Flacco gossiping like a girl. Talk about you some general. Boy, if you don't shut up, what? Talk about you a general. Boy, listen. Shut it up. Stay in your place. We supposed to be pushing FBA and reparations. That's what we on. And try and get some unity over here. We cannot be thinking about Africa. Africa for the Africans. They need to figure out what they're going to do. They need to be trying to figure out how to help us. They the ones in civilian. They supposed to be the land of the diaspora. Why would we, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to be thinking about survival here. Because they don't need to run over there. They're going to get wiped out. They ain't got themselves together. They fighting each other. We need to be focused over here. Seriously. And don't let nobody fool you, because foundational Black America is nothing but Black Americans with foundational in front of it. It's the same thing. The difference between Black Americans as foundational Black Americans is we are distinguishing ourselves as the Blacks that been here. That's it. We're foundational Black Americans. We're not Black immigrants. Because a brother could come from Nigeria and say he Black. Then, if he get his American citizenship, technically, if you say we are Black people and he from Nigeria and he get his citizenship, technically, he a Black American. Now, if he technically become a Black American, now you can't distinguish what goods and services we supposed to get and what goods and services he's supposed to get. He can't get the goods and services we supposed to get. We built the place. So we want to delineate so we can get our reparations and we can get what's due to us for building this country. Africans wasn't over here building this country. They were still in Africa. So they can't come claim our lineage and say we all the same and come claim our shit. And they'll come claim our stuff, but you got all the diamonds and gold over there. What you over here trying to claim something for anyway? So just the fact Africans got to run out of Africa to come over here, what that mean? That mean they weak. Bro, you over there with all the riches and you running over here to work? You running from Ethiopia, you running from Nigeria, you running over here. It's a billion of y'all. And y'all running. Not only you running over here, you coming over here, you ain't got no brotherly love. You looking at me crazy. Weirdos like Sarah Sunseti, Africans don't mess with him. He don't be real. Man, hell, look at him yellow like that, and they'll be like, you ain't no African. You don't look like no East African. They would not honor him over there. No high yellow brother over there talking about he no African. They wouldn't respect him none. As far as they be concerned, he's a mixed breed. That's how they'll look at him. Just like me, they see this red and stuff, but see, my mother's side is Sioux. My mother's side is Sioux. I ain't no pure African. If you're a general, you know the only one way you're going to get respect in Africa. And that's with military might. Ain't nobody going to respect you if you can't beat them. And you can't beat them. So you ain't going to get no respect in Africa. How? Respect is something you got to take. People only going to respect you when they know they can't beat you. Meanwhile, they gentrifying the whole Detroit and going to run his ass out of there. So, Foundation of Black Americans, y'all need to wake up so we can start unifying. Get these shorties to stop gangbanging. start figuring out how we're going to build some economical wealth in our own neighborhoods and keep our community so we don't get gentrified, be all in homeless camps. Because if they cut your money out, how you going to get to Africa? They own the planes. They the air traffic controllers. I'm in Chicago. We got Midway. We got O'Hare. That ain't black. So how you going to get out of here? You don't own no shipping. You don't own no plane. You don't own nothing. You don't even got the black version of Uber and Lyft. You can't even drive nobody around. Dude selling old stories about what happened in ancient Kemet 15,000 years ago. You know, I had a page I was going to do. I might do it. It's from Kemet to Chicago. But sometimes I don't want to do it because I don't really like talking that historical stuff. Not in the situation we had now. And I got a bunch of stuff, and I might do it every now and then, but I ain't really, my heart ain't into it because we got serious problems. I don't really like history. I ain't gonna lie. I don't really like history. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna do it. But man, I really don't want to talk about ancient Egypt and all that. I got grandbabies. Fuck ancient Egypt. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I got grandbabies. I got 6 children, and they got children. And the cost of living is going up here. Taxes is going up, and people losing their jobs. Know what I'm saying? So I really can't get into it, man. I don't really care what happened in ancient Kemet. I ain't gonna lie. I represent it. I got some DNA there, but I'm foundational Black American. This is my soil. Africa's not my soil. My parents was abused here. We got blood in the soil here. We have blood in the soil, recent blood in the soil. We got blood in the soil in Africa, but that was how long ago? We got fresh blood in the soil here. Facts. We got blood in the soil. And then, you know, Pan-Africans is clowns because, listen, man, ain't no discussion about me leaving my 6 children, my grandchildren. My family not going to Africa. So I ain't going. I'm not going to no Africa, man. How am I going to go to Africa? I got 3 daughters, they ain't going. I got 3 sons, they ain't going. They got children. They don't want to go. I got no immediate family in no Africa. So I don't got no time to be worrying about Africa, period. None. That's why I'm not a Pan-African, period. Because it's not beneficial for me to be a Pan-African when Africans ain't Pan-African. You know, Black Americans, y'all got to stop trying to save Africa and realize you're only 50 million. There's more Black Brazilians than it is us. Let them go fix it then. We 50 million. That's a little ass number. That's why I say dudes to my day generals and all that don't know the numbers, don't know the strategy or nothing. It's 50 million Black Americans, right? It's 200 million Nigerians alone. We couldn't even help Nigeria. We would disappear in Nigeria. You take 50 million Black people and dump them all in Nigeria, and you would just disappear. So you take Blacks here and take you to Africa, you would just dissipate. It would be like you're not even there. You wouldn't get nothing accomplished. There's an illusion of grandeur that these brothers, when they be on this Pan-African, they think they can go And they don't even know how many Africans over there, how big Africa is. Africa's huge. And they believe they could really go make a difference with no weapons, no planes, no tanks, no nothing. A bunch of Africans that don't speak the same language, 3,000 tribes, a whole bunch of different countries, all different tribes fighting in one country, all different countries hating different countries. And you over here teaching black people some about some Pan-African stuff that they was teaching me. I'll be expecting brothers to change from the mistake and be real G's and be like, listen, y'all, that Pan-African stuff they taught us, that was wrong. They thought it was right because we had limited knowledge. Now that we got no more knowledge, we can't do the Pan-African stuff. It's out. It's off the table. Now that we really know the numbers, and now we really see the situation in Africa, it's clear that we can't do nothing to help Africa. They said, what about the diaspora? The only hope for the diaspora is the Africans the one got to help everybody. And they can call us when they're ready to help us. The Africans are the ones that got to help everybody. They the billion. Since when the 50 million got to dream about helping the billion? Or keep talking about the billion while you over here in your own situation? Got your own situation going on. You keep talking about, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to deal with my children right now and try to really deal with this government right now to make sure they don't try to wipe us out over here. Seriously. Because they finna throw all them Africans and Haitians out of here. Anyway, it ain't gonna be a Jamaican, a Haitian, or nobody over here, but a handful under the Trump administration. Watch, they finna clean Minnesota out. It ain't gonna be a Somalian nowhere, or Ethiopian either. They're gonna be out of here. Watch. They're gonna revoke all that. They're gonna throw them out and them anchor babies with them. And we need to be trying to make sure we take them positions and hold the line in case they try to turn on us next. But the main thing y'all got to remember is foundational Black American is just an upgrade. It's Black American with the word foundation in front. So stop acting like it's something new. Foundational Black American is just Black American. It's just describing which Black American. It's really not nothing new. We've been Black American. Just put foundational in front of it. They trying to act like FBA is something new. No, it's not. We just say FBA so it's short. FBA is Black Americans. You get love from Africa, well, I'll be glad when you go over there and get off my live. You know what I'm saying? I need you to go over there. What's your name? Certified. I need you to go to Africa. We don't need you here. We need you and go to Africa and stay in Africa. Africa for the Africans. You need to go to Africa, bro. Because we don't need you over here. We need somebody over here that's focused over here. And why you ain't on no African YouTube? Why you on man? See, y'all got to peep the phony stuff. What's his name? Certified NC2. He keep talking about he love Africa, but he on the Foundational Black America YouTube page. He can't find no African page to go on. See, it's the phony stuff. He should be following Africans then, right? Why he following me? See, that's why I'm telling you, Pan-Africanism is phony. Because he talking Pan-Africanism. He following me. I'm a foundational Black American. He on YouTube that's owned by Google. It ain't nothing African over here. This is Google run this. So while he praising Africans, he working under Google. And is he talking about getting your own Google type situation? No, because you ain't got the satellites now. You light years behind this system. And I'm going to end in a minute, but let's get this straight. Not only are you light years behind this system, you're so inefficient that if the system fall, you're not even prepared to survive when it falls because you're dependent on the system. You're dependent on them keeping your lights on. You're dependent on them keeping the electricity on. So if they keep everything running, you ain't nobody. And if it fall, you ain't nobody. Because we're not spending no time in America building. And Pan-Africans, like Pharaoh El-Aton said, he need to stop selling nursery rhymes and stop selling fantasy stories and get his mind in the game and talk about what we gonna do over here. And he lied because he said Pan-Africans ain't got to go to Africa. That's a lie. See, these brothers don't be studying. Pan-Africanism got 3 principles. And the first one is repatriation. The second one is rehabilitation. And the third one is reparation. These brothers don't even be good Pan-Africans. They don't even know the Pan-African consciousness. The pillar of Pan-Africanism is repatriation. Repatriation is what? A must. So Seti don't even know nothing about, he ain't even no Pan-African. Tell Seti I said he not even no Pan-African. If he ain't talking repatriation, he bootleg. He a baby. He ain't stay in a baby place. He a little boy. He wasn't here when we put it together. It's repatriation is a must under Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is not about staying nowhere but going to Africa. This ain't about having no problems with no Africans. So I understand what you're talking about, Reggie. You definitely, Reggie, don't understand this conversation. This ain't about no problem with Africans. This is about Black Americans doing what we need to do. And Africans going to do what they got to do. But I got brothers like you, Reggie. Y'all come with false information. Reggie is bringing y'all false information, making my information like it's anti-African, which is not anti-African. I'm saying the Africans got to fix Africa. We can't help Africa. And you can see brothers like this try to make the conversation look anti-African. When my conversation is pro, right? Foundational Black American to do what you need to do over here because you can't help Africans. I want y'all to see the trick that brothers be trying to run, like Reggie trying to run the trick, like this is anti-African, which I never said. I said we can't do nothing for Africa because we can barely do for ourselves. What part of that do we hear anti-African? See what I'm saying? And that's the typical mind of somebody that's half-ass Pan-African. Because my conversation ain't about disliking Africa. My conversation about Black Americans over here ain't got no money to go to Africa. Reggie ain't gonna never go to Africa. Reggie not gonna be on no African YouTube. He's on Google. So this is over his head, right? He don't even understand that he's on Google. YouTube is owned by Google. So if you go to Africa and you're on Google, are you in Africa? Are you still up under the supremacy system? This is what I'm talking about. They in Africa on Google. So you're going to Africa that ain't even, Africans don't run Africa. This is what Reggie don't understand. Africans don't run Africa. The Arabs and the Chinese And the Russians and Americans run Africa. Black people do not run Africa. They just dare. That gets turned into, I don't got no problem with no African. You don't even know no Africans, bro. Because if you knew some Africans and you was down Africans, Reggie, why ain't you watching Africans? Why are you watching me? I'm born in Chicago. Stop watching me, Reggie, and go watch some Africans. Stop being a hypocrite. Go watch some Africans. Don't just tell me you ain't got no problem with them. Go watch them. Go get something from Africans. And if you can't get nothing from Africans, what you doing? My point ain't hating Africans. My point is Africans can't do nothing for us. Africans can't even do nothing for themselves. We're over here, and we need to focus over here. And they gonna throw the Africans out. And I'm not standing up for nobody that wouldn't stand up for me. I'm not standing up for no Africans if they get deported. Reggie, if you're a foundational Black American, they ain't standing up for you. The only one's going to stand for you is other foundational Black Americans. But this is not no African hate speech. So you see, brothers like this, when they hear us say we want to do for ourselves, they try to flip it and try to make it look like African hate speech because I'm saying we got to do for ourselves. He flips that, being unintelligent, low comprehension skills, and he some type of way to him, this conversation sound like hate Africa, which is a problem. So how he gonna help Africa when he got low comprehension skills? He don't even understand what I'm saying. Reggie, you can't help Africans because you don't even understand what I'm saying. How you gonna help Africa? And you got low comprehension skills. And this is what they do when we start talking about doing for ourselves. Some kind of way to them that sound like hating Africans. But Africans ain't doing shit for us. Reggie just talking. Africans ain't doing nothing for us. Africans won't send us no bubble gum. Reggie talking. Africa got all of them chocolate, all that chocolate, right? All that cocoa. How much cocoa do they send us? Africa got a lot of gold. How much gold has Africans sent Black America? He talking about he ain't got no problem with no African. They ain't sent him nothing. They ain't sent him nothing from Africa. These are where brothers be lame. Look, let me read it back. I'm a Black American, man, and I don't have any problem with anyone from the African continent. Because some kind of way, that's what he is. That's what he hear out of my conversation. This is what I'm straight comprehension skill. Out of my conversation, he hear some kind of way he hear, I got a problem with some Africans. I don't know. See what I'm saying? Low comprehension skill. Nothing about this conversation is saying nothing about problems with no Africans. Everything in this conversation is about foundational Black Americans doing what they got to do for themselves. Because Africans can't do nothing for you. Africans can't do nothing for Reggie. And Africans can't even do nothing for themselves. And to him, that sounds like a problem with Africans. That wouldn't give him a piece of bubble gum. And so eventually, like if it's people like that and we trying to talk about what we got to do, we got to kick him out the circle. Because we only can give Reggie so long to catch on what we saying. If he don't catch up, then he's useless. Then we got to block him or get him out of here. Because he ain't going to do but keep our people going around when we talking higher knowledge. This is higher knowledge. He want to talk low-level knowledge, who like who and who don't like who. See, Reggie trying to bring the conversation down, who like who and who don't like who, like on some child stuff. That ain't what we talking about. because he said he ain't got no problem with Africans, but Africans is in Africa killing Africans. Africans have problems with Africans. And black Americans have problems with black Americans. So even though Reggie say he ain't got no problem with no Africans, a black American will hurt Reggie. And that's what Reggie need to be focused on black crime here. So this conversation is way over Reggie's head. Because I'm in Chicago and there's been 400 people unalived already. And Reggie's in threat of black Americans. So my question is, should he be running behind Africans or should he be trying to fix the problem here amongst black Americans? He can't help Africans. There's 1 billion Africans. There's 50 million black Americans. 50 million should not be trying to help the billion. The billion should be the ones trying to help the 50 million. And if the billion can't help us, forget about them and concentrate on what we got going on here. To him, that sounds like hate Africa, low comprehension skill. So we got to get better reading for foundational black Americans, right? Got to get our people's comprehension skills up. They got to become more intelligent. What time we got to chase behind African when this brother, they got low comprehension skills. We got to help Reggie get better comprehension skills because he here hate for Africans. That's what he here. That's what this sound like to him. Because he on some make friends with Africa. He ain't on no bill cars, get your own cars, get together, foundation black up, get your own factories. He ain't on that. He on some, when you see Africa, just friend with an African. Like that's going to help us in any kind of way. Trying to be friends with some Africans when you ain't even a friend with yourself. Any African trying to make friends with me when Africans don't like Africans is crazy. Africans don't even get along in Africa. Why would you be trying to come in and get along with me? You know how many Africans hurt Africans today? You know what happens to women in South Africa like every 2 minutes? Look it up. So he's saying he ain't got no problem with anyone from Africa, but he ain't met hardly nobody from Africa. Just talking. Anyway, I'm gonna delete this comment so I want nobody else. I don't want nobody to be, I'm trying to raise intelligence. I'm not gonna leave nothing that's gonna lower intelligence. He gotta come over here and say something intelligent. But this is what they doing. So when we start talking about what we got to do and build for ourselves, how nobody help us, we have people that try to turn that into hate for Africans. But in reality, in my life, ain't no Africans in my life. Ain't no Africans in my life. When I get up and I move around Chicago, foundational black Americans, all day we dealing with foundational black Americans and white Americans that run stuff. We ain't dealing with no Africans like that. You don't be seeing no Africans. How many Africans you deal with a day? So how you gonna hate somebody you don't even deal with? I don't have any type of business or nothing with no Africans. Ain't no Africans at Whole Foods work at Whole Foods. Ain't no Africans work at no gas stations. All the gas stations is Arabs and Pakistanis and stuff. There is no Africans in our life. So how would you mean dislike them? They don't even exist here. I challenge you. When the last time you dealt with an African, do business with? You don't do no business with no Africans. You don't see no Africans. In real life, you can go drive across this country. I done drove across this country how many times? You ain't going to see no African gas station. Not a one. And you ain't going to see no black American gas station. So what that tell you? How you gonna dislike Africans when you ain't got no dealings with Africans? They keep Africans disenfranchised over here. They worthless over here. They can't benefit us. They can barely make it themselves. That's what I'm trying to tell. That's what I'm trying to tell the brother. He was over here with a fake conversation, trying to make it look like this was Africa bashing. Anytime we talk about doing for ourselves, everybody likes to turn it into hate. But everybody else is doing for themselves. This is the battle that foundational Black Americans got to deal with. They want foundational Black Americans reaching out for everybody. Suckers like Sarasu Seti. Ain't nobody going to reach back for him. He not going to get nothing from Africa or Africans. Nothing. He going to be 75 before he realize that. He ain't going to get nothing from no Africans. Not a quarter. And he ain't taking his babies and his wife to no Africa. If he do, it's going to go bad because there's mad xenophobia over there, because there's tribalism over there. Just like we got gangs over here, where theirs is tribes. Same shit, different toilet. Y'all better listen. It's time to focus on what we got to do. If people come into your social media and stuff, pushing, reaching out for Africans, block them. Because anybody pushing for you to reach for somebody before you have your own self together is an enemy. Even in your house. If you're in your house, and let's say you got 3 children, and every day your 3 children fighting and stuff, but then they want to go out and be nice to the kids outside. What you think about that? That's a Pan-African. Live somewhere where everybody fighting against each other, but you want to go love somebody else. And guess what? When your kids go out, the kids that they love, they at home fighting against each other. So if you got Black Americans that don't get along, can't get it together, you're trying to link with a bunch of Africans that don't get along and don't get it together, tribalism. Let me tell you something. And I tell this all the time. One night, I was going to the 24-hour Starbucks. It's about 1 in the morning. I'm walking in the Starbucks. I see a West African brother walking one way and an East African brother walking the other way. Now, every time I see African brothers and sisters, I always speak to them, right? So I'm watching. And do you know they didn't acknowledge each other? Well, me being a Black American, we looking from a Pan-African point of view, that they Africans. No, they not. So if an Ethiopian, East Africa, because he might have been from anywhere, but if an East African walk past a West African, don't speak or do nothing, what that tell you? They got love for me? How they got love for me? And they both from way across Africa and don't acknowledge each other. Then you know they ain't got no love for me. Everybody talk about getting along with Africans, but in the United States, Africans from different countries do not get along, do not even acknowledge each other. You ain't gonna see no Ghanaians and no Nigerians kicking it. You ain't gonna see that. You're gonna see Nigerians with Nigerians, Ghanaians with Ghanaians, Ethiopians with Ethiopians if they're from the same tribe. They even worse. And in Nigeria, If you're a Christian Nigerian and you're a Muslim Nigerian, they ain't getting along. In America, you're going to see what? A GD and a BD, a Viceroy, a Crip and a Blood, right? Same thing. They ain't going to get along. They supposed to, but they not. So if we got tribalism in Africa not getting along, and we got gangs over here not getting along, what should we be focused on? Trying to get the Africans to get along with the Africans so they can get along with us? Or should we be dealing with our situation, our gang violence, our problems? Yeah, because we don't have our own hospitals, because we're not focusing on ourselves. We're not focusing on ourselves and our own survival. And that's why I don't like Pan-Africanism, because Pan-Africanism have you dreaming across the water and you end up doing less over here. Pan-Africanism, one of the worst concepts I ever dealt with was Pan-Africanism. It's horrible because Pan-Africanism, if you move, listen, if you move on a block and you're not planning to stay there, you're gonna rent, right? You're gonna rent. You ain't gonna buy the house because you plan to move. So let's say you live in Chicago, but you really want to move to LA. You're gonna rent a house in Chicago so you could get your money and move to LA, which is gonna stop you from what? Investing in Chicago. So the problem with Pan-Africanism, what ruined my generation is because we was looking towards Africa, we never invested here because you thinking you going to leave. So Pan-Africanism stops you from making the best economical moves here because you're not going to buy no house here if you plan to go to Africa. So when I left here, went to California, go to Hawaii on my way to Africa, all that time I could have been here buying homes. I'm out here on some bullshit Pan-Africanism, get all the way to Hawaii, wasting time. Pan-Africanism, man, said he can't tell me shit. He a little boy. I'm 67 years old, and Pan-Africanism ruined the whole, all the Pan-Africans my age, they lost because their mind was in Africa and they didn't take care of business right here because you're not going to invest here if you're planning to leave. It's a messed up concept. Pan-Africanism is the worst shit you could think about because now your mind ain't in the game. And you're thinking about 1 billion people. The concept of 50 million people thinking about 1 billion people is the dumbest concept in the world. The billion people need to get themselves together. We need to just be thinking about ourselves. And when the billion get themselves together, then tell them, let us know. Because there's nothing we can do for Africa until Africa do for Africa. That's a fact. There is nothing we can do for Africa. Nothing. It's 1 billion. They have to do whatever they have to do. So Pan-Africanism is total trash because the Africans got to do what they got to do in order for Pan-Africanism to be legitimate and effective. Pan-Africanism can never be effective until the Africans do what they got to do. It's 1 billion Africans. It's 50 million of us. It's 170 million Ethiopians. It's 200 million Nigerians. 50 million people. You can't even fix Nigeria. If every foundational Black American moved to Nigeria, you couldn't change nothing because they got 200 million of them. You have to focus here. We have to get brothers, you know, these brothers love Africa more than they love their own people in America. We have to focus here. We have to get rid of the gang violence here. We have to fight the prison system here. Oh, you a revolutionary? What revolutionary go to Africa and leave his comrades in prison? You ain't gonna free the guys? That's what we're supposed to be focusing on. Freeing these brothers in prison over here. And then I'm gonna just keep it real. Africa's out of the picture totally. I never can move. I can't move to Africa. It's not gonna happen. I got 6 children. I got my sister here. My sister got children. My children got children. I'm not leaving my children and my grandchildren to go to no Africa. Period. So don't sell me no story that I need to leave here because they're going to do something to me, because that means they're going to do something to my children. That means they're going to do something to my grandchildren. No, I got to fight if it come to that. I'm not leaving my family over here. Pan-Africans is full of it. Dr. Umar is a Pan-African, and he ain't trying to build no school in Africa. So if he was building the school here, was he ever going to go to Africa? No. And he couldn't even pull that off. Because 98% of Pan-Africans is bums and ain't got no business skills. Facts. 98% of Pan-Africans and conscious people ain't worth a nickel. They really, listen, when you start dealing with people that's got these weird ideologies, most time they losers. So they losers, so they start making up these fake ideologies. So when brothers like me that really got game, when we get into this black conscious movement, we be surrounded by losers. So you can't get nothing done with the conscious community because you'll be the only boss. All of them is losers. The winners got good jobs, doing stuff. Them ones walking around with the onks on and all that and talking, most of them is losers. They just be kicking gang. They can't do nothing. If I had to pick from 500 regular Black Americans and 500 Pan-Africans, I'll pick the regulars. Because I already know out of these 500 Pan-Africans, only 20 of them worth a damn. And this me, I've really been out here. Before SETI, a little boy. All right? All right? I started growing my dreads in 1978. What year he born? My hair older than him. My hair older than him. And on some real revolutionary stuff, we don't cut our hair and all that. So like there's levels to revolution and blackness too. When you at the barbershop and shit, I ain't trying to hate nobody. You ain't that. It's a bald head. You ain't even standing on nothing like that. You scary. You want a haircut. You want to be a half Babylonian, half revolutionary. What a revolutionary trying to brush his hair for and trying to look cute. Kind of revolutionaries you. I'm just saying. I'm giving you young people gang. Stay away from black conscious people, black revolutionaries, all them weirdos and all them different religions. Stay away from that. That be losers, man. I'm telling you. If you get around 50 rosters, only 5 of them will be worth a damn. That's a fact. If you get around 50 Hebrew Israelites, only 5 of them. Yeah, my hair older than me, a little boy. Let me tell you, when you start talking about black conscious people, you're dealing with losers. Most Pan-Africans and black conscious people as people couldn't make it in the world. So they go for alternative. I didn't want to be in the world anyway. Babylon gonna fall. America gonna fall. America gonna fall. We need to leave America. And I'm all gonna sit here and be a Pan-African for 50, 70 years, still here Pan-African then. What's the point of being a Pan-African? Because he said, you could be a Pan-African and not go to Africa. For what purpose then? What the hell is you concentrating on Africa for if you ain't never going over there? That show you don't listen to him. He need to shut up. Tell Sarah Sumuseti, I said he need to shut up and need to keep doing gossip stuff on YouTube and make him some money. He need to report what Jules Santana doing and who got beat up and Ja Rule getting beat up. He need to stick with what he doing when that other stuff ain't working. Tell him I said keep gossiping. Do his gossip stuff, he'll make more money. Ain't gonna hate on make money, but he's not Big Pharaoh. Tell him to keep gossiping over there. Stop going back and forth to a super general, to a gossiper. You know what I'm saying? Tell Seti, I said, stop going from a gossiper to a revolutionary. Which one is it, bro? You know what I'm saying? Is you Tisa Tails or is you Cyrus Seti? I'm confused. You know what I'm saying? Gossiping. I was like, bro, shut up. You ain't on my level, bro. Y'all don't never see me over here gossiping. If I talk about something going on, it's because it's a subject matter I need to add to it for y'all to get yourself together. You're not going to see me over here reporting, Ja Rule got beat up. Go show me my Ja Rule video where I jumped over here. And I know everything going on, but that just ain't what I do. I ain't thirsty for the YouTube check where I'll sell my soul. You know what I'm saying? Stop listening to these Peter Pan Africans. I always remember, and this should be a rule. We give a Pan African so many days to get the hell out of here and go to Africa. Okay? You're a Pan African, we give you 7 years. After 7 years, if you ain't went to Africa, don't talk about it no more. Because talking about it ain't doing no good, and you ain't focusing on what we need to be doing here. And we here. It's really like you're a rat, you're a traitor. You ain't focusing on what's going on here. And I've been there, so I'm telling y'all the facts. I was a Pan-African, and it was a waste of time. It's a wasted concept, and it's a negative concept for Black people. Black people need to focus on where they're at. Like Rakim said, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. Whether you in England, Brazil, whatever, you need to be trying to better yourself where you at. And when it comes to Pan-Africanism, all the pressure got to be on the Africans. We must force the Africans to take that head position. We must tell the Africans, when you get your shit together, let us know. Other than that, we not thinking about you. I am not going to be pushing no line for no billion Blacks. Period. I'm not pushing no line for no billion Black people. From a Pan-African concept, Africa's supposed to be the mama, the big homie. What you looking like campaigning for the big homie? What said he looked like in Detroit campaigning for the big homie, and the big homie ain't even campaigning for themselves? See what I'm saying? It's a billion of them. They got to get it how they live. We foundational Black Americans, we need to protect ourselves. We need to focus over here. And Pan-Africans is phony because they don't know what's going on all over Ethiopia. They don't know what's going on in Uganda. They don't know what's going on in the Congo. They don't know what's going on in Africa. They faking. Africa's huge. There's all kind of stuff going on over there. Yet over here, look at Detroit. Why he up there worrying about Africa? Tell Seti, I said, don't worry about Africa. Get your set up good like Big Pharaoh like here. Set your stuff up. Why you bootleg on that phone? How Seti gonna go to Africa? He can't even use StreamYard and do a good live stream. His live stream bootleg. But he talking about going to Africa and can't even do a live stream. How you gonna save Africa? This is what I'm talking about. With that bootleg setup screaming in that phone. Talking about he gonna go to Africa. And he can't even do like Big Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? He can't even do that. If you can't do that, stay here, bro. They don't need you in Africa. They don't need you in Africa. They could holler in the phone without you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, they don't need you in Africa. Okay? Get your technology up. Get yourself together over here. Get yourself together, bro. And shut up talking to me because you're a little boy. Stand a little boy play. You know, we FBA over here 100. We not bouncing back and forth. We standing on foundational Black American situations and what we got to do right here. I'm interested in what's going to go on with my children, my grandchildren, my cousins, and stuff like that. I don't hate Africans, but Africans got to take care of Africans. Brazilians got to take care of Brazil. It's crazy, too, because we don't care nothing about the Brazilians. They Black. See, it's just all phony. But you want to say you care about all Black people, but you don't hear nobody talk about Brazil. You don't hear nobody talk about the Afro-Mexicans. We ain't checking on the Blacks in Europe. Up there in the Ukraine, when everything started, they told the Blacks they couldn't even get on the trains or do nothing. So if we were the diaspora, what can we do for the diaspora when we Black Americans and we ain't doing everything we need to do for ourselves? Every bit of energy we use and focusing on anything outside this country is energy we need to be focusing on in this country. As Black people in this country. I give you another example. That's like me in Chicago talking about the Crips and the Bloods when we got 400 homicides right here in Chicago. So where should my minds be? My mind should be here. Right here. Getting some economics right here. Getting some housing right here. Some food right here. Some information right here. Dealing with my children right here. My grandchildren. Not going all the way to Africa, leaving my children. I got 6 children. I'm not leaving them. And ain't nothing going to happen to them. Because I'm going to defend where I'm at. That's how that go. I'm going to defend here where I'm at. I'm not running to Africa. I'm not punking. I wish the best for the brothers in Africa. Don't get me wrong. I want them to do the same thing in Africa, what I'm talking about doing here. All Black people got to stand up where they at. Period. And stop dreaming about somebody else where somebody else is at. And I've been in the roster culture. That's all they did was dream about Africa. And you know how many of my brethren passed away? Bunny Wailer had a whole farm in Africa. Back in 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, he had a fall farm, lost it. Rita Marley was over there, got sick, had to come back. Guess what? You can't get no medicine over there. I met a sister. I was at the DMV. It was a sister behind me. And she was like Nigerian and Ghanaian. So I asked her, I said, so what's going on with Africa? And she said, Africa's all right. But she said, tell Black Americans they can't go to Africa if they're on medication. I said, what you mean? She said, they're not going to be able to get their medication in Africa. She said that when she go to visit her relatives, if she going to stay 3 months, she have to take 3 months worth of medication. And she said right before her medication run out, she got to leave because she cannot get her medication in Africa. This is a sister who daddy from one country, mother from another country, Nigeria and Ghana. She was mama Nigerian, daddy Ghana, the other way around. And she told me, she said, you can't get your medicine over there. I come over here and tell y'all the facts. So imagine you over here dreaming about Africa, and then these people turn our medicine off over here, turn our food off over here, turn off our availability to get on planes over here while we dreaming about Africa. Like I said, the worst thing, Pan-Africanism was the worst concept ever. I never should have really dealt with. I wish I never dealt with Pan-Africanism. It's a total waste of time because there ain't no such thing as Africa. There's no such place as Africa. Them people are not African. Them people is Nigerian. Them people is Ghanaian, and then ain't even that. They whatever tribe there is. There's 3,000 tribes over there. Them people is practicing delineation by tribe. Facts. They delineated by tribe. Ain't really no such thing as Nigerians. Listen, there really ain't no such thing as Nigerians. There's no such thing as Nigerians. They come over here tell you they're Nigerians, but they're not really Nigerians in Nigeria. In Nigeria, they tribe. They just know you don't know that. So they tell you they're Nigerian. They tell you they're Ethiopian. They're not Ethiopian in Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, they're either Tigrayan, Amara, Aroma, or something like that. They're not really Nigerians. They're not really Ethiopian. They not. And they definitely ain't Africans. No such thing as Africans. And they under the total oppression of the Europeans and the Chinese. 1,000,000,000%. A friend of mine, he's in the military. He's a military dentist. High ranking. He took his wife to the Gambia. He at the hotel. There's 2 white couples in front of him. First one get up there. Show us your itinerary. Show the itinerary. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, sir. Okay, boom. Room. Next white couple get up there. Show us your itinerary. My itinerary, my passport is, my reservation, everything. Boom. When the black brother get up there, say, show your itinerary. He's showing stuff. The Africans start looking at, I don't know. I don't know. He there with his wife. He pissed. He got the same thing the 2 white ones had. When he get to the black brother in the Gambia, in the hotel, they, I don't know. Is this, he got to stay there. He there 45 minutes. Everybody else, 3-4 minutes, they gone. Him and his queen down there 45 minutes while they acting like, well, we don't see this and that. He's like, man, it's all right there, just like theirs. Because in Africa, they don't really deal with black people right when you go to them kind of places. They're not gonna deal with you. They're gonna do Europeans better than they're gonna do you. Jamaica the same way. Ziggy Marley went to Jamaica, tried to get a lodge. They wouldn't even give him a lodge. Look it up. Bob Marley's son couldn't get a room in Jamaica. Google it. Ziggy was pissed. Bob Marley's son. When you go to them places, the discrimination is crazy. But the idea for foundational Black Americans that you want to think about anything other than fixing up what we built, what we picked the cotton for, and the fact that you think about going anywhere before you get your reparations is a coward. We want our money. We're not going to let you cheat our great grandparents and cheat our ancestors and then don't pay them because you got them under oppression. And now we the first generation come out to oppression. And now you're going to say it's a long time ago. Because this is the game they play. They oppressed them people back then and do them dirty. Then they used their military, they used Jim Crow, they used all this stuff to hold you down to the 70s. Then when the 70s come, they know you ain't got the information. So we finally get to the internet and we get the information, say, oh, they owe us reparations. Why? They say, oh, that was a long time ago. Knowing that you just found out, knowing that you just got the stuff together to do what you got to do. So you say Black Americans are Al-Qaeda. That's all right. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. We don't pay no attention to that. You're on the internet. You know what I'm saying? What's your name? Born 3603. You're on the internet. We're going to be anything in the internet. That type of stuff, if you want to call us out, you got to do it face to face. That's another thing. Do like see I just did. Hey, don't be arguing with no Africans on no internet. I be seeing the Africans, all due respect, on the internet. Then I go outside and I go up on the north side, or I get in the elevator with an African. Why you be so quiet? Why you don't do all that when I'm, you know what I'm saying? And I'm finna be on the internet playing with you on the internet. You got to say this stuff face to face. That's another thing. Don't y'all be arguing with no Africans on no internet. Them is cowards. You just wasting your time. That's all. Because they're not finna say none of that. So I ain't wasting my time on nothing you ain't gonna say. You ain't gonna say none of that. What you want me to do? It's the internet. And then it might not even be African. It could be anybody pretending to be an African. It could be a European pretending they're African saying stuff. This is another reason why you ain't got no time to be tying your mind up into that. Young brothers and sisters, concentrate on your finances. Concentrate on your living conditions. Concentrate on your health, your children, your grandchildren, your parents, stuff like that. Concentrate on what you can do here now to prepare yourself if things go crazy. Don't let nobody tell you that things going to go crazy here and you got to run to Africa. Because if things go crazy, they're going to go crazy globally. So if they go to the mark of the beast here, it's going to be worldwide. As foundational Black Americans, if things go bad, I'd rather be here with a bunch of foundational Black Americans where we can fight and unite. I don't want to be the oddball out in Africa surrounded by a bunch of Africans when things go bad, because now I'm going to be the oddball out. You know what I'm saying? Stay with your army. Your army is foundational Black Americans is here. Stay here so we can look out for you. Don't you go and get in another man's land and things go bad, you're going to get did dirty. You understand? I'm just telling you. You ain't going to do well in Africa if everything collapses. I'm going to tell you that straight up. Don't you go over there playing around. You understand? Because the most revolutionary people on this planet when it comes to black people is foundational black Americans. Africans ain't that. Africans ain't revolutionaries like that. They not on our level. They behind us. You don't want to go over there. You're going back in time. This is the future. Going to Africa, this way you're going. And they're going to ride with him before they ride with SETI. If he points SETI out, they'll unalive SETI for him. Oh, my soul. All them, you know what Putin said? Putin said African leaders, he said they only come to Africa to die. He said other than that, they come to Europe to live. They come to Europe to buy cars. They come to Europe to get married. They come to Europe to go to the hospitals, get medical treatment. And the only time they be in Africa is when they die. When they die, they go back to Africa and get buried. They ain't lying. Them African leaders, they'll walk out that palace. They'll go say something. They'll go back in that palace. They'll get in their car, take them out to a place where a plane or a helicopter, get on the helicopter, go to a plane, and be in Europe. Everybody think he in the palace. His ass in Europe. You go to Europe, his son over there got 5 Rolls Royces, everything, where they robbing the people. Or you say you're American. Well, you know, you got to be specific. I didn't know what you were saying. You know what I mean? But you're right. Yeah, they say we are kata and all that. But see, they take all their riches and they be up in Europe. And then they'll come down, they'll fly, they'll take the car in the palace and walk out the palace like they've been there. But Putin say they only go to Africa to die. Everything else they do up in Europe. All them African rulers is in Europe. Like everybody said, the guy in Burkina Faso is a revolutionary. But his wife got perm and shit like a black woman over here. She don't look African at all. She look like one of these black Americans at the club. I was tripped out. I was like, so he just got like a regular, like, okay. She ain't even carry herself like no African. That tripped me out. In some countries in Africa, when the women get pregnant, they take these pills so their baby be born with lighter skin. Did y'all know that? They be trying to straighten their hair, and they be, man, listen, you gonna be messed up if you go over there. And they got the youngest population in the world. They got the most 15 years old. The most people in Africa is 15 years old. And the place is messed up. If you go to Ghana, they're gonna tell you go to Africa. You go to Ghana. My high school girlfriend, she She live in Ghana, but she always over here making money because she can't make no money in Ghana. You know why she over here making money? If you go to Ghana and you get an apartment, you got to pay 1 year rent up front. I hope y'all listen. If you go to Ghana and you want to get an apartment, you cannot pay no monthly rent. You have to pay 1 year up front. Ask somebody. My high school girlfriend, she live in Ghana. And I bet she in St. Louis right now trying to make money. I tell you something else too. When you hear foundational Black Americans move to Africa, and you see them, you see them on YouTube. You know why? Because American dollars in Africa is more money. So they go over to Africa. Then they'll be a content creator, right? And make money over here, which make them have a lot of money in Africa. That's why so many right now. If you go look, you're gonna see a new movement of a whole bunch of Africans on YouTube because they can live better on YouTube than they can live in Africa. And they'll be on YouTube talking about Ja Rule, all our stuff. Look, you think I'm lying? It's Africans in Africa talking about everything that's going on with us over here. Because they get that YouTube money. They get that YouTube money. But my high school sweetheart, she live over there, but she always over here. And she always trying to get me. She always trying to get me to come to Africa. And I just be looking at her crazy. Because why you want me to come to Africa and you ain't never in Africa? You always over here trying to make some money. See, people won't tell you the truth. I'm the only one going to tell you the real truth. Everybody else going to lie to you. They're going to tell you a false story. Everybody going to lie to you. They ain't going to tell you the truth. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to lie to you. I kid you not. They don't tell you the truth. They're going to lie. And she live in Ghana, but she ain't never there. And always trying to get me to come over there. But I already know what I'm going to go over there for. Why would I go over there? Make some sense. And you always over here trying to make some money. And she ain't gonna tell the truth. They ain't gonna tell you the truth. You'll starve over there. You sure will. In Africa. They just trying to sell y'all like a dream. And that's why it's so much pushback on FBA. They don't want to tell y'all the truth. It's a lot of pushback on FBA for that reason right there. They're not going to tell you the truth about this situation. So you gotta be strong, you gotta stand firm, and you gotta stick with foundational Black Americans, and you gotta stick with that concept, and you gotta push for reparations. You can't let nobody distract you. You can't be wasting no time uh, arguing with somebody that ain't gonna be honest with you anyway. Foundational Black Americans and that whole concept is one of the best things could ever happen. No matter what nobody tell you. And you got to get your reparations. You can't let nobody fool you on that. You can't let nobody fool you on that. I hope y'all listening. Bad things can happen over here, but we got each other over here. Once you leave, you don't got nothing. You don't got nobody to help you. You know what I'm saying? The main thing I want you to remember, though, is one thing. Don't let nobody fool you with the concept FBA, Foundational Black American. Always remember, when they be complaining about Foundational Black American, tell them, listen, Foundational Black American is nothing but Black American with foundational in front of it. Because they'll try to fool you. Y'all FBA is this and that. No, don't say that we know. We Black Americans. We just foundational Black Americans. So that they can understand, oh, because they try to say FBA, try to act like it's something new. It's not nothing new. We Black Americans, we just describing which Black Americans we are. We're the Black Americans that been here from the beginning. Because any Black person that become American citizen could say they're Black American. So Tariq is a genius for protecting us from that. So now, if a Nigerian become an American citizen, he could say you're Black American, but he will not be able to say that he's a foundational Black American. Because the foundational Black American is going to be able to trace your family back to the 1800s. And if you can trace your family back to the 1800s census, you're going to get your reparation. And they can find your family in the 1800s census, for sure. That's going to be easy to do. But start getting your lineage and getting all your paperwork and stuff together. Start figuring out about your lineage and all that. Start putting your paperwork together. Start having your family organize all that. We working on it right now. Start working on that. Start getting your lineage and everything together. So you can get your, because we're gonna get our reparations. We're not playing. We're gonna get our reparations, but all you gotta do is prove that you was here. That's it. See, on my mother's side, this is my great grandmother. See, she was born in 1876. Once they look up her name in the census, it's gonna show her mama and daddy. They got a record of everybody from the 1800s. And this is my grandmother, my great grandmother. We used to hang out at her house. She lived 117 years. So start getting all that stuff together for your family to prepare for your reparations. Don't let these people cheat you out what they took from your ancestors. That's what we need to be focusing on. This is my father's father. This is my grandfather on my father's side. So we've been on that, right? We've been on that. We've been getting the family's information together. Start getting your family's information together. Pictures, everything. Start getting them. So you can get your reparations. Because we're going to get our reparations. We're not playing no games, okay? And there's a lot of people trying to stop us from getting our reparations. This is my father's family right here. On my father's side, they already started. This is my daddy, Randolph, at the bottom, and all his brothers. At the top, the picture at the top is my great grandparents. My grandparents is the two pictures. That's my grandfather on the left, the two pictures of him, and that's my grandmother on the right. And then this is my father and all his brothers. My father's Randolph, the one at the bottom right. This the girls, this my auntie. My daddy was the youngest of 13. That second row on the right with them three, that's my mother, my father, my sister. I was in Hawaii growing weed in the mountains. So I was, you know what I mean? The picture at the top, that's my daddy and all his brothers and sisters. Well, not all of them, three not there. That's the same picture that's in the middle. That's the three girls at the top on the left. So start getting all this information so you can prove who you are. See what I'm saying? Just my daddy as a little kid, he's the little one in the front. And that's all his brothers and sisters. Concentrate on stuff like that, okay? So you can get your reparation. Don't be giving up the fight. And do not be on the internet arguing with no Africans or nothing like that. Stay focused. Stay focused. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? FBA, it's about lineage and reparations. Don't forget that. We in a battle for reparations. Don't let nobody fool you, okay? Those that are eligible for reparations but speak against it will be the first ones rushing to get it after those that fought for it win the battle. So people gonna speak against it, but once we all fight for it and win the battle, they're gonna be begging for it. So the first thing is reparations. We want our reparations and we want it now. All right. I hope y'all learn from that. Positive energy all the time. And reparations is a must. So stay focused. Don't let nobody get you off your square. And we're gonna end by showing you the companies that owe us money. All right. Victory.